Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk live from the city of Los Angeles. I am Eric Weber. On this Tuesday, we're getting a better look at where we're headed this award season because it is well underway. Yesterday, my group, the group I founded some 3 years ago, Sunset Circle, announced their nominations for 2022. And let's pull it up here and present, and we shall discuss that. And then we're going to get into the Independent Spirit Awards and get into the films that are the winners, the losers over the last couple of days. Now, when I wanted to get Sunset Circle off the ground, we said, let's do this. Let's get a group of really smart film journalists, film critics, and assemble a voting group that is able to put huge films right next to small films, right? So films like Top Gun Maverick can be viewed the same as something like After Sun, which it can. They're both films. Now, granted, one's much bigger and has a hell of a lot more money in the bank, Maverick, but the other emotionally wrecks you and is one of the best films of the year, regardless of budget, and that's After Sun. Why can't we put both of those into the same lens, put it into the same category? Best film, top films. Let's get right to it. The Sunset Circle, and we go to the top films of the year. I am very familiar with all these. I better be, because I chair the group, so I better know everything about these films. First, After Sun, I told you, one of the most emotionally devastating films of 2022. A24, tiny film. If you have not seen After Sun, you need to do so. It is easily a top film of the year. Decision to Leave. Park Chan-wook back again and delivering as he can. As a director, one of the best talents we have. You're going to see him in Best Director as well. Decision to Leave, I don't care if it's international feature, foreign language, whatever you want to call it. It is one of the top films of 2022. Next up, Elvis. You look at Baz Luhrmann and what he did with that film. I mean, he was very close to landing a Best Director for us. That's very, very close. Baz was just shut out of that category, but it's really a testament to not just his direction and his calibration of that film. And when you talk about Best Director, on every film that we have here, not only in top films, but also in director, anything that's getting a nod there is going to have tremendous calibration. Now, you guys know what that means. I hope. If you don't, let me tell you. It means the film is going to flow seamlessly and it's going to work perfectly as the director intended. All of these films do that. Elvis. Next up, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Listen, you know I'm not the biggest fan of the film, but I will give the Daniels credit for assembling a really cool multiverse film until we get to the last half hour, and then it's a repetition of ideas. But the rest of the members of Sunset Circle really like the film. It's not in my top films of the year, but here it is. And again, of all the films I have an issue with this year, and the Fablemans, The Whale, Babylon, we're going to talk about all that. Your comments, hit me now. Whatever you want to talk about awards-wise, we're going to do it. And let me say this before I continue on Everything Everywhere, is that you can go anywhere and get, quote, awards coverage. So let me tell you where you're going to get it best, right here. Because there's a lot of people in this space that talk a bunch of nonsense. They really don't know what they're discussing. They really don't know the ins and the outs of it. They're not familiar with some of the films. They don't have really tremendous evaluation skills. And then we're going to listen to them call the shots? I don't think so. So let's continue. Everything Everywhere is there. The Menu, a film that was a last minute. I mean, this film just debuted this past weekend, only screened a couple of weeks before it debuted. So it's a late breaking film, but I think it's one of the best screenplays of the year. You're going to see it there as well. Menu, deserving. RRR, I mean, the phenomenon, right? Why India and how India did not select it for its best international feature is bewildering, bizarre, and obviously a massive mistake. It is here in the top films. She Said, of Universal's two big films, The Fablemans and She Said, by far the better film. It's no comparison whatsoever. It's really a shame that She Said did not do the numbers that I know a lot of people at least hope to do a little better. I mean, but listen, when you go wide with a film about Harvey Weinstein in a title like She Said, I mean, what do you expect? I don't think that's really going to hurt it, though. that's something I'm getting a lot of questions like, will She Said be smashed by the fact that it didn't do great box office opening weekend and a lot of people calling it a bomb? I don't think so because the film is strong. Okay. So a lot of these films are not going to have huge box office. I mean, even Tar, one of the best films of the year, easy. I mean, across all kinds of categories, it doesn't have huge box office. And we've seen that happen over the years. I mean, remember the year Hurt Locker won Best Picture. It was like, I believe it might still be the lowest grossing Best Picture winner ever. So it's not like that hasn't happened before. So that whole discussion about, well, it hasn't made a lot of money at the box office, therefore I'm like, how about we just start with the Hurt Locker? Do you guys have any sense of history? There's more than that. There's plenty of films, but that's the easy one to go ahead and quash that. Top Gun Maverick, without question, top film. And obviously the sensation it is at almost 1.4 billion worldwide. And then comes Women Talking. Now, if you look around me tonight, you're going to notice that there are quite a few new screeners up on the wall. Let me pull it in tight here, then we'll get back to the discussion. Do you see them? Do you see where I had to move Joker? Because I had to really spotlight the brand new screener that arrived today. Yes, the Batman is here, which is so fitting. This channel started with a review of Matt Reeves' Batman way back in March. And here we are some 8 months later, and there it is on the wall. I think during that stream, I even said, I can't wait for Batman, the Batman, to be here. And here it is on the wall next to Joker. We had to move it to the other side because it's a little jumbled up over there. You got Dune now, but do you see who's next to Dune? We got a double shot of Timothée Chalamet on the walls. Bones and All is right there. And then right next to Bones and All, if you see it, is Women Talking. Now, back to Women Talking. I said it today. This is a film that is, it just got done dirty by the title. I mean, I understand it's the name of the novel that it's based on. But do you want to see a movie titled Women Talking? Doubtful. Now, when you see Women Talking, and I really need you to see it because it is great. It's a great film. Would you be more interested in it if I were to say, you need to go check out The Colony? Okay? Just ruminate on that. Would you want to see The Colony or Women Talking? I bet you said The Colony because it's a better title. And then the film is way better than the title Women Talking. But this is a film that is surging. This is the film that had the most Sunset Circle nominations. And then today backed it up with more love from Independent Spirit. So back-to-back big days for Women Talking, a film that deserves to be right where it is, squarely in the middle of the awards conversation. And I'm so glad I had a chance to see it right before nominations were announced, right before all of this hit. I said, I've got to get to Women Talking. I have a sneaky suspicion that I'm going to like this film. I didn't know what, I had this premonition, go see the film. And then I sat through it and I loved it. If you missed the stream the other day, I broke it down without spoilers. The film is very, very, very strong. Okay. Also, over the last 2 days, Everything Everywhere All at Once has done very well. Sunset Circle did very well. And also today, Film Independent Spirit Awards, no surprise. You knew it would do well. The one thing that's interesting about Everything Everywhere All at Once, if you don't know this, Independent Spirit Awards have a limit on how much your film can have budget-wise, right? It used to be 22 and a half. This year, they jacked it to 30, okay? Well, guess how much EEAAO is budgeted at? 25. So it wouldn't have qualified based on last year's number. So suddenly we swing that number up, we push it a little higher, and look, it qualifies. Now, you're going to say COVID, has added to the cost. No question, inflation, all those things. Okay, fine. But I just think it's interesting. It's just a point that no one else seemed to notice. By the way, someone did tip me off on that. So thank you for that source. Also, Tar. I mean, look, Tar is easily one of the best films of the year. And when you look at it, it's not just about Cate Blanchett. When we did that first stream, when I came out of that film, the night before it opened in New York and LA, I got to go to the premiere here in LA over at the Academy Museum. And I said, wait, all I was hearing initially on Tar was Cate Blanchett. No. Tar is a film that plays Best Director, Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Cinematography. It plays everywhere. And that's what you're starting to see is what I called. And listen, guys, we say it often here, but it's true. What gets said here on MMT happens almost universally every time. It just does, because we're skilled at evaluating films and knowing what works. I was thinking about this earlier today. There's a lot of people in the space, and we don't need to mention names, but that I think their opinions are formed almost in a hive mind mentality, right? They watch something they're supposed to like, and I put that in quotes, supposed to like. And we look at something like Fablemans, right? A film that you sure should like. I mean, it's Steven Spielberg's life story. How can it be bad? And then you watch Fablemans and you say, this is not a good film. Like, objectively, I would argue bad. Okay? Beyond the young lead Gabriel, who's very strong. He's good. Everyone else here, even Dano, I mean, he got a Sunset Circle nomination, but I wasn't all that impressed with it. I think that when you have a situation like Fablemans, or going back to last year, a movie like Mass, you get people going, oh my God, look at Mass. It's going to make, it's going to get 4 nominations for all of the people in the film. Everyone's going to get a supporting nominations. How many people got supporting noms for that at the Oscars? Do you remember? The answer is 0. 0. So when you look at the Fablemans, it's a film that you're supposed to like, but don't fall into the trap. Watch the Fablemans and tell me that it's good. You're going to have a hard time doing that. And the more people that see it, they're coming around to that. And we called it here. The Whale. So listen, The Whale did not do very well with us at Sunset Circle. It got an actor for Brendan Fraser, and it got Hung Chow for the supporting, also for the menu. But if you look today, let's pull it up. Let's look here at Film Independent Spirit. It didn't get anything. I mean, it is completely shut out here. Okay, now, Independent Spirit only has 5 slots for its best feature. They don't even do the 10. They have Bones and All, which I recommend from a filmmaking and performance perspective. From a screenplay perspective, a lot of you are gonna like the film. But when you talk score and you talk cinematography and you talk editing and just the overall aesthetic of the film, Bones and All is a very good film to watch if you really are into filmmaking. Everything Everywhere All at Once, no surprise that's there. I never saw Our Father the Devil. I want to try to get around to it now because that's a very small film that I didn't get around to. And you have Tar and you have Women Talking. So I think that you look at Tar, Women Talking, Everything Everywhere All at Once. These are the very clear, smaller, independent films that are going to do very well all the way through Oscar season, right? But let's go back, and we said we're looking for The Whale. So let's go to Best Actor, which, by the way, hold on, I'm sorry, let me just can we go blood red on the screen for a moment, because I want to go off on this. The best lead performance. I mean, I'm telling you, I told you this before. You guys know I chair Sunset Circle. I promise you, there is a 0% chance that we will ever stack every sex into one category. It'll never happen. Now, I know it's trendy, right? Best lead performance. Let's just put all the women and men together. Apologies if I left someone's sex out. Women and men. No, let's not do that. Okay, and let's see. Do they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? They have 6, 7 women. 1, 2, 8 women. 9. Wait, no, 8. 1, 2. There's 10. Hold on, 3, 6. I didn't add it up yet. Yeah, there's 10. Okay, so there's 2 dudes and 8 women. Now, no one's. I've seen all. Listen, Kate Blanchett, amazing. She should win, no question. Dale Dickey, Love Song. A film that looks, I mean, the aesthetic on that film, the graininess of it, and her performance is just so raw. Just a very sparse film, very much like Nomadland. You can very clearly see that it was definitely, when they made Love Song, they're like, let's make a version of Nomadland. I liked it. Mia Goth, she got a Sunset Circle. She's here. Aubrey Plaza, Emily the Criminal is one of my favorite films of the year. So I have no problem with that. Regina Hall, Honk for Jesus, didn't ever get around to that. Can't comment. Paul Mescal. Oh my God, Paul Mescal in Aftersun is so damn strong. And that film, I cannot tell you guys enough how much I love Aftersun. So happy to see that. As you go through this, we only have 2 guys and we have 8 girls. So I'm just telling you guys that I will never, ever stack guys and girls in the same category. Tell me if you like. Go into the comments now. Tell me, are you a fan of that or not? I have a feeling you're going to say no. But remember, it's trendy. It's cool. It's cool to put the women and the men in one category. That's the neat thing to do. Let's virtue signal. I can't stand virtue signaling. I mean, I literally loathe it. I can't. Whenever I see someone virtue signaling, I just get like repulsed. Like, like sexual attractiveness. If someone virtue signals, it's like I couldn't be more turned off by that action. It's just yuck. So anyhow, they're doing a little of that here by putting everyone together. But what do you notice? You do not see Brendan Fraser. Okay. Now, it's not in lead, it's nowhere, okay? It's not in Best Picture. The Whale, and I said it the other night when I came out of the film and again on Sunday, The Whale's terrible. The Whale is one of the worst awards films that I have seen in the past numerous years. And even extracting Brendan Fraser from a horrible film is difficult for me. Now, he is doing his best with what he's given, but I'm telling you that this screenplay is the worst award season screenplay this season, perhaps the past numerous award season. It is contrived, it is melodramatic, and the only thing that anchors this is Brendan Fraser. But why do you not see it here? Because the movie's terrible. And I'm telling you, I'm going to judge people on two things. One, Fablemans, and two, more importantly, The Whale. If you love The Whale, you're doing something wrong. Like you objectively are doing something really wrong. Because, I hear people say The Whale's emotional. I'm like, well, I guess there's faux emotion, and I guess Brendan Fraser sells some, there's a little bit of that. But if you want to talk about emotion, go watch After Sun. Because the ending of After Sun will gut you, will rip your heart out, itchy and scratchy style, and throw it on the ground. That is what After Sun does to you. As I said when I walked out of that film, it is a soul-shattering film. That is emotion. That is grounded. That is cinema. After Sun. The Whale is none of those things. Not a single thing. It is a bad film. It proved itself again today with Independent Spirit Awards. One more and we'll get to the comments. And then we're going to roll tonight with whatever you want to talk about. Can After Sun keep this going? Because that is the question now. Sunset Circle had it in top films. Today, Film Independent has it right there. And listen, it is, I can't stress enough to you about this tiny film, After Sun. It is one of the best films of the year, period. So I would love to see it happen. Now, my only concern is, will A24 give it the attention it deserves? They are kind of focusing all of their energy on two things. What are those? Everything Everywhere, very clearly understood. We know that. You don't really need to do much with that anymore because it's in. By virtue of a weak year and the fact that it has a lot of momentum and a lot of buzz, it's in. So now you can just go ahead and divert some of those funds, some of that effort, and put those resources allocated towards After Sun, because that's a film that deserves to be propped up. I don't care how small it is. I don't care what the budget is, the box office, none of that. It is one of the best films of the year. I hope it keeps going. All right, let's get to the comments here on this Tuesday night. Tonight's kit, Manchester United. Why did I choose it? Because Ronaldo was sent packing today. Quote, mutual decision. I think he'll go cry in his hundreds of millions of dollars. He'll be okay. He'll be with a new team here shortly. All right, here we go, Aaliyah. Congrats on your hard work with Sunset Circle. Thank you so much. I'm selfishly bummed because you missed when I at you Twitter as with a tweet. I probably did. I mean, listen, sometimes with Twitter, it just gets to be like, oh my God, there's too much. Anytime here is the best way to get a hold of me because I'm locked in and I'll respond to it. This is essentially live Twitter, right? This is a live Twitter Q&A with your questions, your comments, and then we go off on those things. I mean, that's just what this channel has become, and I'm really happy with what it is. It's not some kind of edited performance review thing or trailer reaction show that you guys, some people, I don't know who watches, someone watches them, and we're not doing that. That's not how we operate. We go live. We do not re-edit and redo things, which is very obvious. But thank you. Yes, it was a lot of work. I mean, listen, when you're in charge of, when you chair an organization like Sunset Circle that's now in its third year, you have a big duty. You have a very large task in front of you, and you have a responsibility to deliver the best films of the year and to help with not just we had to, obviously everyone had their nomination ballot, to look at that, to slot everything, and then to make those decisions where we're going to go when, it's a flip of the coin, because ultimately you want to get it right. Now, I know we're not changing the world. No one's suggesting that we are, but you also want to, very importantly, when I started Sunset Circle 3 years ago, it was to shine a light on smaller projects, on films that deserved love. And I go back to the film that really was the genesis for it for me was Saint Maud. Saint Maud was one of the top films of, was it 2020 or, yeah, it's 2020. The years are just going by so quickly now. When I watched Saint Maud, I said, this is a great film, not a great horror, psychological drama. It's a great film, and it deserves to be included in the top 10 films of the year. I feel that way about Aftersun. And guess what? They both are the same thing. Tiny films. Now, granted, I know they're A24 films, but I go back to last year, we championed Funny Face, which is a very small film. I still love that. It's one of my favorite films of the past 5 years. Easy. Tim Sutton's Funny Face. If you haven't watched it, check it out. The direction on that is just really where it's just, but yeah, thank you. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but truthfully, it's very rewarding because now the studios are paying attention. And the thing of it is we didn't set it out to do that. But if you are being recognized and people are taking you seriously, it's because they look at the list. Let me pull it up again. When you look at this list of nominees and films that we were able to get in here, I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that when we, at the end of the year, and by the way, we were first, okay? Gotham went first. They go really weird, okay? I like some of their stuff, but in general, they go really niche and really small. We were first. We beat Film Independent. So anyone who's saying that Independent Spirit, we copied them, I hate to tell you this, but we were 24 hours ahead of them. So you can't say that, because what I want to do is be fearless. That's what we started with this channel doing. I don't need someone else to tell me that these films are good. I know in my soul that these are the best films of the year. These are the 10. Now, I would replace Everything Everywhere, but I don't have a problem with it. I understand why it's there. Best Director, Todd Field, Tar. Yes. Kaczynski, Maverick. Yes. Park, Decision to Leave. Of course. Polly, shockingly, yes. When you watch it, you'll see. And then S.S. Rajamouli for RRR. I love that pick because that film is audacious, bold, and flat out insane what he tried to do with that film, and it works. Best Actor, Austin Butler, Cruz, Farrell, Fraser, and Mescal getting in there for Aftersun. These are great performances, every single one of these. Even The Whale, even Fraser in The Whale, a great performance in a terrible movie. Colin Farrell, average movie, Banshees of Inisherin, very good performance. And, people are saying Tom Cruise. What's Tom Cruise doing in there? Why is he there? Because he is Maverick. Without Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick will not work. I know that sounds super obvious, but for those of you who can't figure it out, he is the star of the film. He makes it all work seamlessly. And that is why he is here, because Top Gun Maverick is one of the best films of 2022. Down to Best Actress, Blanchett, Deadwyler Danielle Deadwyler did not get a nomination today at Independent Spirit Awards. That's shocking. She is great in Till. The film Till is okay. Her performance is exceptional. Then we have Mia Goth, not just Pearl, but X. You throw both of them in there. Remember in X, she is playing, obviously, the stripper, and she's also playing the old woman, right? She's playing Pearl. So she's got both of those going. So think about that. That is, talk about it, a 1-2 punch. Mia Goth. Tang Wei for Decision to Leave. If you've not watched Decision to Leave, you will understand when you watch it why she's here. Michelle Yeoh, best part of Everything Everywhere All at Once is her. So she is clearly there. Best Supporting Actor, Dano. Gleason, Tyree Henry, really everything in Causeway. Ki Hoi Kwan from Everything Everywhere. I like the pick. Listen, I'll say this in Michael Ward, Empire of Light. When you go supporting actor and actress is a pain in the ass. Okay. And let me tell you why. I could scratch all five in each category. Supporting is Bassett, Foy, Chow, and Bedu, and Mulligan. You could go ahead and switch out all five, and you could slot five different for each one. I could do that very easily. If I go to Awards Ace right now, I could easily pick five different legitimate supporting candidates. It's always going to be hardest. Now, one thing I want to point out is we did not add a sixth, like a lot of these groups, Critics' Choice, I'm a member of, they add a sixth. HCA adds a sixth, Hollywood Critics. We did not. We limit it to five. Let me tell you the difference between 5 and 6. Those are the people on the bubble that don't get in. And there's a lot of people right there on the bubble at that 6 spot, 7 spot. You can ask me who was there. Go ahead, hit me in the comments. I will answer those questions for you tonight. Best ensemble. Everything Everywhere, The Menu, She Said, Top Gun Maverick, Women Talking. Okay, so I'll leave it up here. You can look at these, but here's the thing. Here's why Sunset Circle is taking off. Because every category that we have, we are on top of. They are smart picks. They are the right picks. When you look at editing, let me pull it back one more time. So editing is huge. We added it this year because film editing, a rather essential part of a film. Decision to Leave, Elvis, Moon Age Daydream, RRR, and Top Gun Maverick. All five of those films excel, beyond excel in editing. So that's why they're there. But if you've seen these films, you're like, yeah, I get it. These are good. This is why it's big, because you guys are good at it. Chris Gore. Super chat, thank you, sir. What awards films would you like to see director Axel Braun remake? By the way, how was your party tonight? So the first question I have for him, he went to Gore's like, I'm going to a party over in an independent film party, and I'm like, I think I just want to hang out tonight. I don't even know who the hell. Why am I like completely drawing a blank on who Axel Braun is? I literally am right now going, who the hell? Like, I don't even. Oh no, I gotta look. Oh, you're going way back on me. Come on, man. Dude. Oh shit. No, I can't believe you just did this. This is why I paid $5. I knew that name. He makes porn. My God, that's it. You're banned. You're lucky you got a super chat. I was sitting there going, why do I know Axel? You are unbelievable. Thank you. Yes. Let's see. He's got to remake Black Adam in a porn. For guys, I'm sorry if there's kids watching. That was Gore. Good evening, Chris. Yes, Gore's out having his vodka soda. Del Toro's Pinocchio. That's a great question, Nikita. Thanks for coming on the stream, by the way, and asking a good one. You're going to ask about that film, and did it have a chance at a top film? Did it have a chance at, a best picture situation for us, which would be top films? Listen, here's the problem with Del Toro's Pinocchio. We have seen Pinocchio too many times. This is a film that we have been down that road, and no one's done it better than Del Toro. But the problem with Pinocchio is twofold. One, we've seen the story too many times, so there's really a lack of wonder beyond the stop motion animation, which is, that the art form itself deserves an award. But as a film, you have a story we've seen too many times. It's Pinocchio. And then you have songs that are not great. So you have a score, which, by the way, did get a nomination with Sunset Circle. That's, I think, the best part of the film. When you look at Desplat's score, that's the best of the film. One of the best of the year. And I think that's the number one thing it shines at beyond the artistry of the whole thing. So it's not a best picture candidate in my estimation. It shouldn't be. It's not at that level. It should win animation. I think it can and it will, as we said when I came out of that film and I saw it a few weeks ago. But it's not a best picture. It's just not. Listen, someone's looking. Okay, let's do this. I really just switched some things up, so I appreciate you bringing this in, by the way, about RRR. Okay, so here we go. Was I shopping for Pumas earlier? My site's like saying, do you want Pumas? I got to admit I was looking at new basketball shoes. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to the best picture lineup. Get out of here, ads. Thank you. Okay, here we go. My God, there's a lot of Puma ads. Okay, here we go. So going down in order now, we have Fablemans, She Said, Banshees, Everything, Top Gun Maverick, Tar, Elvis, Empire of Light, Avatar, Women Talking, and Black Panther. Now, I think Women Talking is going to keep surging up. And you guys know how I feel about Fablemans, but I mean, look, I have to list it first because everyone else seems to be in love with this film. It's not good. The Fablemans is bad. I mean, it's objectively bad. But it's there because it's Spielberg. And listen, we said this. I came out of the film. And what did I say about that? I said that the only reason people are going to say The Fableman's good is because it's directed by Spielberg and it's his life story. If it was just some rando's life story directed by some no-name director, you guys would be like, this film's terrible. But that's what we say you can't do. You cannot do that. You cannot be one of those people that says, this is good because it's by this director. No, we don't do that. We never do that. We never do that for studio, for director, for actor. We watch the film and evaluate it on its own merits, period. Okay, The Sun, The Whale, Babylon, Woman King, RR, these are the next up. Now, listen, they're not, I know they're in order technically when I look at this, but you can kind of pick one if you want to throw it up there. Okay, even Glass Onion I think is there. After Sun, I'm pushing up the hill. Okay, it's going up because it deserves to, but it's going to have a hard time getting there. But RRR is such a curious case for me, and we talked about it on Sunday, and we do it again tonight. I know a lot of you want to know what's going to happen with that film. If I had to say right now, will RRR get a Best Picture? I say no, it's not going to happen. Its chances are getting better, but I don't want you guys to think that it's going to get a Best Picture nomination. Please don't think that, because I don't believe it's going to happen. Now, I would love to see it happen. I would love to be surprised and be wrong on that. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm going to say the likelihood is very high it's not going to get there. Even though they are doing a ton of events, they're working it hard, as they should, because there's a lot of weak films in front of it, such as The Whale. Such Fablemans is worse than RR, way worse. And then Babylon. If Babylon ends up being an awards film, it is absolutely gonna be the biggest joke ever. It's so bad. Thank you. Yes, thanks. Yes, I did read your super chat. I have to read super chats first, guys. Also, anyone who's a member, you're gonna be up too. What the hell was up with the standing ovations for The Whale? Okay, it's a great question. Here's the situation with The Whale. People get carried away at film festivals. And we are seeing it again with The Whale because Brendan Fraser's there. It's the first ever screening, and there's something about a first screening that makes them discombobulated. And they get in there and they're watching something and they're like in another world, because I'm telling you, if I was in the screening of The Whale, I sure as hell wouldn't have stood for 15 minutes cheering Brendan Fraser. Now, I'm not suggesting it's a bad performance. I need to make sure that's 100% clear. But the movie is terrible. It is almost unwatchable. It is a movie that I wanted to walk out of. And when I just finally watched the trailer for The Whale, because someone said, watch it. The trailer has the only moment of emotion. It captures everyone's best moment in the minute 15 trailer. A24 knows it's terrible. They didn't even want to put a 2-minute and 15-second trailer out because they don't want to show you anymore. They just want to say Brandon Fraser's a knockout. Oh my God, he'll move you to tears. Not true. Maybe if you're emotionally, on edge. But listen, these people in this town and also at the film festivals, they it's hive mind. So if that person's standing, that means I have to stand, which I understand in that situation. I wouldn't have stood for 15 minutes. I might have stood for a minute and then said I'm going to have a seat. But most people don't have that kind of conviction and that kind of balls to do that. Whereas, that's what makes what I do different than a lot of people, is that they don't have the guts to come out and say Fablemans is terrible. I mean, to literally proclaim it. He come out there and say it before anyone else did. This is a bad film. There's 5 people that had the guts to say that, 5, and now they're coming out of the woodworks. Just like last year with Licorice Pizza. Remember? Oh, you said it was bad. And then people start to watch and go, it's really not that good. Well, look, guess who's right again? because I don't play favorites and I do not have a dog in the fight. And I'm going to tell you what the reality of the movie is. And that's the problem. People get all excited and then they, stand up for 15 minutes for Brendan Fraser. I don't know if he's going to win Best Actor, by the way. I really don't. I think that there are opportunities for two people here. One, Austin Butler, because Elvis is a film that people love, including me. Austin Butler is there, along with Colin Farrell in Banshees. I think that those two have the best shot of taking Fraser out. I feel like Fraser's in a bad spot right now because he peaked so early. Everyone was like, he's going to win, he's going to win. And even I said that. And then I saw the movie. I said, okay, I need to revise whatever I said about the whale because a lot of you haven't seen the film. So if you haven't seen it, please, you got to trust me on this. The whale's terrible. How many more times can I say that? I think I've said it at least 5 times on the stream alone. Have you ever rewatched a film you didn't initially like and months or years later had a change of heart? There's one example that comes to mind. I've brought it up before and I'll do it here again since it's a great question. A film that I saw back to back with another film back in Boston. I went to go see Hugo, and Hugo's long, and I liked Hugo. It's really well made. Scorsese's. I mean, come on. And then I went to watch. I saw Moneyball right afterwards. I went from one to the other, with it 15 minutes in between. And I watched Moneyball, and I was not enamored. I was not in the right mood. I was not in the right mindset for the film. So a few months later, I watched it again. Oh my God, I love Moneyball. I mean, I love Bennett Miller. So Foxcatcher is a great film, and so is Moneyball. But it took me 2 to really turn and get on the right page with that. Now, I didn't hammer Moneyball, but I didn't love it as much as I would, if I'd seen it all by myself on one day. I don't like to watch back-to-back films because I only have a 1 movie limit. I did 2 this past weekend. Women Talking, which I saw first, which was good, and then Bones and All after. Now, I said that I liked a lot of the elements of Bones and All. I don't think I need to rewatch it because I feel like my evaluation was dead on. I think it's a film that excels in filmmaking, excels in craftsmanship. Performances are very good, but the story, the cannibalistic story, it wears thin, and it's mega violent and kind of repulsive by the end. I think it'll be that way for most people who watch it. So I don't think it's going to change, but Moneyball is one of the few. One of the few. Okay, you want to do it? Let's do it. Physique critique, Ram Charan from RRR. Let's do it. Here we go. Give me a second. Let me get a shirtless thing. Thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot to do physique critique. And so you guys are the best because you guys are here telling me you got to do physique critique. For those of you who haven't ever partaken in this, let me tell you how it works. We are going to look at an actor who got in shape for a film, and we're going to say let's look at the physique and grade it. Okay, here we go. Here is Ram for the thing. You can see. I think this looks like it's a little bit digitally altered. There's a little bit of a Photoshop going on here. I mean, I can see it, but okay, here he is. So when we look at him, the first thing I notice is probably what you notice too. I notice an outstanding set of traps. I mean, these are really good traps up here. Obviously, right above the shoulders, right neckline. That's the traps. He's very good. His abs are good enough. I don't think they're not shredded like Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. This is a good. This is actually one thing I'll say about this physique. I feel like this is pretty attainable. Now, I know some of you are like, no, listen. I'm telling you, as someone who goes to the gym and busts his ass there, you can do this. The thing is you have to be, first of all, very consistent. And the other thing you have to do, make sure your diet's pretty dialed in. You don't have to be eating rice cakes and tuna all day, but you can't be going to Five Guys and eating a triple cheeseburger with a double fries. You got to watch that. But if you do a little bit every day, I'm not saying it's going to happen in a day or two. We're talking in a year, I know it sounds like a long time, you could maybe look like Ram Charan. Now, he has a natural, I think he's blessed with the genetics of having good traps. But he looks very good. I think it's a nice, not too big physique. I mean, those are my notes. Does anybody have any notes on Ram Charan's physique here? Oh God! Don't even ask that, Gore. We need a physique critique on Brendan Fraser and the Whale. No, I said there's no. We're not doing that. We're not doing the fat actor. And by the way, the thing that's also weird about the Whale, just quick side note, is that it's CG and fat suit. It's not even like he gained the weight. I mean, I don't think he wasn't like thin, but isn't that kind of weird? Like you almost want the actor to have gained 500 pounds. Now, I know Christian Bale probably would have done that. He would have become the Whale. So I think that's another thing with the Whale. It's just a little minor thing. But back to the physique critique. Any other notes? I think that's pretty much sums it up. I mean, his mustache hits the gym. I mean, it is a very good, Patrick. It's a very good mustache. I mean, I have a goatee, not a mustache. But if I did a mustache, I would totally do that. That opening scene of RRR is one of the best of the year, right? When it's just like oh my God, unbelievable. So there's really not much more to add. That's it. That's a great suggestion tonight, especially with RRR surging up the charts. Don't think it's going to get there. Don't think so. But I do think that it is surging up the boards. It's going there. Christian Whale. Oh my God. How did I miss that, Patrick? That's good. His muscles have muscles. No, you're thinking of me. Ha! No. Okay, that's it. No, I'm not going to say that again. Just got out of Bones and All. Drew, good evening to you. Entire audience laugh when the credits roll. My biggest disappointment of the year. Film was really a mess. Taylor and Timmy lined the listen, Drew. Okay, everything you just said, I can't argue. I got to say that I think Taylor does better than Timothée Chalamet. This is going to make people. Before I go off on Timothée Chalamet, I'm not going to quite go off, but I'm just going to tell you what. He's up here on the wall for both Bones and All and for Dune. So it's not like we do not like Timothée Chalamet. So before I get started here, I want to say that I do like him. I think he has presence. I think that he is a good-looking kid. I met him in person at Critics' Choice. He has energy, like insane energy, which I love out of anybody. But here's my issue with Timothée Chalamet. When you watch Timothée Chalamet, you often see someone who's almost just saying lines and he's not living in the line, right? I always go back to my acting teachers from way back when. Yes, I was in acting classes. And one of the ones I'll never forget was the acting coach who told me to throw it away. And I go, what the hell do you mean? I was younger. I didn't know. I was clueless. I go, what do you mean throw it away? When you say it, don't harp on it. Don't think about it. Just go like we're doing here live. Just let it go. If you mess up, you mess up. And I think Chalamet sometimes feels like he's saying a line. He speaks too fast. There's not a lot of depth to what it is. So it's just like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like that, right? Go watch Bones and All when he first gets introduced. It's really fast. He did the same thing in Don't Look Up. I feel like he needs to have someone break him down and to experiment with things and just not be afraid. I feel like it's like anything, even this show. When you get used to doing something the same way over and over and over, you just fall into a rut. So you do not challenge yourself by saying, hey, tonight we're going to do a show shirtless. Well, I'm not doing that, but that would be stepping outside the box. That'd be like, let's do something crazy. And I think that Chalamet needs to let himself go and just throw it away more. Okay. I don't think he's great here. I don't think he's bad. I just don't think he's great. Taylor Russell better, but Taylor Russell's Taylor Russell every time. But she's good here. The film, though, excels. Drew, and you know this. You just saw it. It excels in cinematography, 80s aesthetic, score. It's got the filmmaking things that I love. So anytime that a film is technically dialed in, at least I'm there. I mean, that's one of the things The Whale has going against it. It is set in one fucking apartment for 2 hours. And there's nothing you can do creatively with that. Nothing interesting. And it's a boring film to watch and from a visual standpoint. Bones and All looks, oh my God, looks great. I love how the graininess of it, however Lucas shot that thing. I love the look, the feel, the 80s. All these things are what I love. So that's what got me, at least to the point where I recommend the film. But I understand what you're saying. That a lot of people, I said when I came out of it, I said one of the first things I said, Mainstream audiences are not going to like this. So speaking to your people saying they are laughing, that's exactly it. Again, evaluation, thumbs up for me. Thumbs up for me. So, Ryan Reynolds, I never saw Kerchop. I never saw Ryan Reynolds in Amityville Horror. I need to watch now. You saying it's bad? Are you saying he's bad? I don't like when singers do acting in movies. It looks so annoying and also looks like bad substitute of good actor. Sorry, Swifties and style fans. Okay, let me first defend one thing. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that Taylor Swift, for the 3 minutes that she's in Amsterdam, is good. She's better than John David Washington. I said that on the stream. So anyone who says that now, I said it first on MMT, so go screw yourself. I said that she outshines John David Washington in the scene that she's in with. So I think she's good. She's gotten lessons. She's getting better. She looks more natural and more relaxed. The key to succeeding in anything you do, including the show, is being relaxed and not going, oh, am I going to mess up, right? That's never going to be good for whatever you do. I don't care whatever you do in life. If you go into it thinking, oh man, I might mess up, there's a very high likelihood you will. And you're not going to play the same way. You're not going to do the same things because you're going to be afraid of saying the wrong thing. That's why a lot of times I say some things on here. I'm like, my God, that was kind of like out there. Like that was super aggressive. But I'm like, that's what it is. I'd rather be like that than be bottled up and going, I don't know if I can say this. I'm like, no, let's just say it and screw it. It is what it is. I mean, you have to have strong opinions. And believe me when I say, I think you guys know I do. Oh my, I almost got through the whole show without coughing. The cough is better. Oh, Kerchop's saying that Ryan Reynolds' physique critique. Okay, we can do that another time. I promise you. No question. When you see John David Washington, I see he's reading lines. He's not. I mean, it's John David Washington in Tenet is not great. Taylor Swift was good in Amsterdam, right? Harry Styles was okay, and Don't Worry, Darling. It's okay. You don't have to be sorry. You can just say it. You can just say he was okay. I don't think he was terrible. Spot on, no depth for his delivery. He could have lost himself in this role. Felt like 100%. Drew, I'm telling you that there's a lot of actors who play it safe. They are afraid to take chances, afraid to experiment. I think The Rock is the same way. They get into this thing where I've got to be this thing. And Timothée Chalamet has proven himself. He doesn't have to worry about getting jobs. I mean, even if his movies haven't done that well financially, Dune did. But, it's not like he's like some massive box office star. People know the name, but you know what I mean. He has an opportunity to explore, and I agree with you. There's a chance for him in this film to be weird. He could have done, in Bones and All, what Robert Pattinson did in The Rover. And for those of you who've never seen The Rover, Pattinson goes and does some whack-ass Southern accent, and you're like, what's going on? But it worked, because I'm like, that's the guy from Twilight, and he's being weird, and it's cool. Timothée Chalamet needs to look at Robert Pattinson and what he did during that time frame, getting out of Twilight and just doing strange things and making yourself better as an actor. And that's what Chalamet needs to do. He had an opportunity here with a weird fucking movie in Bones and All, and he didn't fully lean into it. He's got the hair, but he didn't create he could have done some strange accent, just totally invest. And that's what Chalamet needs to do. Go watch Robert Pattinson in The Rover, Timothée Chalamet. That is your homework. By the way, no one else would ever come up with that. Please, that was the segment there. I need you to give me a like. That was gold. That was the money segment, because no one else is saying what I just said. No one. Not anyone on YouTube, not anyone on Twitter. No one else just said, Timothée Chalamet, go watch Robert Pattinson in The Rover. Nobody. That's what you get here in MMT. And by the way, it's 100% right. You're like, oh my God, he's right. Give me a like. Come on, let's go. Like, oh my God, I feel like a dance. Dance for, hey guys. Chalamet needs to watch Robert Pattinson. Wait a second. Did you say this before? I swear to God, I was not looking at the comments. Murray, did you say that before or after? No, you said it at the same time. I was going to say, wait a second, Ken Murray. By the way, you and I both saw The Rover together at AMC Boston Common. That was a cool ass film. I like that, and I really like him there. I do not like Robert Pattinson in Cosmopolis. Oh man, Cosmopolis is terrible, and it's not Pattinson's fault. It's the movie's abysmal. 2023 can be massive for Chalamet. In November, he's done part two, and he's also got Wonka. That's right, Dune part two. Oh, I said done. It does say done. Dune part two. Also, Wonka is directed by Paul King. Paul King, Paddington. You know Wonka's going to be badass because one thing Paddington does not get enough. People, you got to understand why Paddington works, okay? You got to understand. And the reason Paddington 1 and 2 work is the performances. Okay. No, it is Paul King. His direction is the reason 1 and 2 are the gems they are. So you don't think he can turn Wonka into some kind of magical creation? I hope to God that Chalamet is really going out on I'm talking going whack ass weird for this because this is his chance. So yes, he needs to study other actors. Daniel Radcliffe's another good one, very much so. I totally agree with that. Do something weird with this role. You have to. It's your moral imperative. Anyone who knows what movie that's from, I swear to God, I will mail you something right now because it's your moral imperative. Please, someone from it's an 80s movie, please. By the way, here's the Batman DVD. So the screener's up behind me, right? You see it? There it is. There's the Batman. So happy to have it on the walls. It's exactly what I expected. The black with the red. It's got the eye. You got the Joker looking the Batman. I mean, we got the best background on all of YouTube. And then we have the Batman CD DVD. This is, by the way, not even a Blu-ray. They still send DVDs. Like, I'm never going to use this. I feel like using this as a coaster because I mean, who does anybody want the Batman DVD? I don't know if I can. It probably says if you mail this to someone, you will be a property of Warner Brothers, not for sale, not to be Well, it's already out on DVD. What? This is just a FYC screener. Boring. But anyhow, the box is up here. But you guys always ask me. Okay, the mic just got ripped out. We know that is the first time that's ever happened. I've ripped the mic cord out. There it is. DVD. Okay, let's see what else we got here. We got 10-minute warning. 10-minute. I got it. Yeah, I fixed it, I think. Is it fixed now? Is it fixed? Please, guys, tell me it is. Tell me it's fixed. Let me hit my audio. Let me check. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Sorry. Yeah, that was bad. Okay, I saw someone in here asking me about here, remember, members get priority. When I first see John David Washington, I see him reading lines. He's stiff. He's really stiff. John David Washington, the same. I agree. He's John. Listen, John David Washington. I see him reading lines. I mean, I'm with you 100. We said that. I said that when we came out. When we came out of. What the hell, Amsterdam. When I came out of Amsterdam, I'm like, we really had a serious discussion about John David Washington as an actor. I mean, that's one of the things I remember going back to. And these are the things we do. We fearlessly said, and most people wouldn't say that because they'd be like, oh, wait a second, you're going to get dragged. I don't give a shit. Give me a break. I mean, dragged for saying that John David Washington's wouldn't. So what? The world's got way bigger problems. By the way, one thing I want to say to you guys as we continue. If you ever want to talk about anything, and I mean, we don't have to talk about movies. I mean, there's stuff going on in the world I have no problem with. In fact, let me just say real quickly today that I sent a tweet out, and this is, hopefully we don't lose everybody here. I sent a tweet out today because we had, oh God, we're going to do the politics. It's going to be short, but my point is, if you want to talk about this stuff, I'm down for it. I'm 100% down for talking whatever you guys want to talk about. The White House had the COVID czar up there saying, blah, 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 do this, blah, 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 blah. And I sent the tweet saying, listen, how about this? Government, stay the hell out of healthcare. Literally I don't need the government to tell me how to stay healthy. You know how I stay healthy? I go to the gym. I take vitamins. I get good night's sleep. I try to mentally focus on positive things as much as possible. I do not need the government stepping into my world saying, you need to do this, this, and this. So, by the way, not a liberal, not a conservative. I am a straight up in the middle, centrist, libertarian is what I think of myself. But I don't need it. And if you guys ever want to talk about that, I have no problem talking about that. Because today I'm like, shut up. I don't need to hear that anymore from you guys. Like, don't, and by the way, and then we'll go back to movies, whatever you want to do. Misinformation. Stop. You guys are adults. You are capable of deciding what is information that's real and what is not. I don't need the government telling me what is the official narrative. I mean, what the hell? Are we literally living 1984? I don't need that. I am very capable mentally of figuring out what is real information and what is fake information. I don't need you to parse it out for me, big government. Stay in your lane. There. There we go. I know. And you, by the way, guess what? Guess what? Would anyone else have done that? No. Because they would have This is true. Grace Randolph would have edited out this is what we don't do. Grace Randolph would do does she even, how long's her stream? Because I feel like if she ever did a stream, it'd be like, we're going to re-edit it out. This stream will be the same now as it will tomorrow, for good and bad. So whatever, you guys, whatever you want to talk about, I'm totally down. One other thing, since we're just going off, let's say this. Did you guys see there was a shooting tonight at a Walmart in Virginia? I'm like, what the hell is going on out there? Like, it's scary, isn't it? It's scary that there are people out there that are on edge to the point where, they're going to snap and then start shooting people. Apparently, it's the manager of the Walmart start shooting people. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, it's just, I do know this much I know. I know that whenever I leave my place, my safety's not guaranteed. I don't expect it. I mean, I also don't want to run into trouble, but I know that you're never going to be fully safe in this world. And it's another tragedy that we're hearing about here tonight. And it just gets to the point where you're just like, it's sad, right? Because you're sad for somebody who's so angry at the world that they would do something like that. Like, I can't even imagine mentally going to that place. I hope you couldn't either. I hope none of us could. But I think that it's sad. It's sad. And you see this stuff and you just go, the nightclub shooting in Colorado. You just say to yourself, man, there's some twisted, messed up people out there, and it's sad. It's just like, man, get help. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything, and listen, what I say like that, there's completely non-movie things. All right, let's go 5-minute warning, 5-minute here. 5-minute, and then we're done. And I think that's going to do it for the week. I was maybe going to do a Thanksgiving one. We'll see. I don't know. You mentioned Daniel Radcliffe. You've seen his new weird. No, I've not. I've heard very good things about it. I'm going to try to, over the next several days, I've got time. I probably will watch that. I want to go see Strange World. I don't really have I'm not excited to see Strange World, but I will see it. I've seen all the awards movies. So I'm just at the point where I need to start watching anything. I mean, I'm get ready for 2023. I just don't want to watch any Marvel movies anytime soon, like at all. Well, listen, I mean, listen, I'm just saying, I don't know. All I'll say to this, CD Stein, all I'll say to this is this. Okay. All I'm going to say to this comment is that, oh man, I want to go off. I'm going to stop. I'm going to hold. I'm going to say this, that I just hope that we never, ever cede the things that we gave to government ever again. I really mean that. I hope we never, ever even consider the shit that they put us through. Because I was saying that from day one. I said, I'm doing it again tonight. I don't even care. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm tired of talking about COVID. I'm tired of talking about whatever the hell the next thing is. Life is dangerous. Get out there and live it. I don't expect the government to keep me safe. Good Lord. And listen, I know we hear it all the time, but seriously, God, don't be a sheep. Ever. Always ask questions. Always. Don't ever just go, okay. That's got to be the truth. No, look at everything. Ask questions. Only Marvel movies I care to see anymore: Guardians 2 and Deadpool 3. I am Dres Sensei. Welcome back. 120% with you on this. Are you kidding me? I mean, I could not agree more with you. Guardians 3 and Deadpool 3 are the only Marvel movies I have any interest in seeing, other than like the next Avengers or whatever we're building up to again. I don't even know. You know what is Glass Onion at AMC? Because I never got around to seeing Glass Onion, and I probably will. That's another movie I can see. Eric Word, yes, thank you, Patrick. I mean, listen. The thing is when I go on these, when I say like, I hope we don't ever give the government those things again. It's just so we're clear. I am not right wing. I am not left wing. I tell you again, it is a very neutral, central position, and I'm telling you that uh, those lockdowns did so much damage, and to pretend they didn't? Are you kidding me? Like, don't fucking lie. The lockdowns were terrible for the kids in school, terrible for people trying to get regular health care, terrible for businesses that were shut down. That is not a right wing stance. That is a calling what it is stance, and screw you for doing that. And if you guys think we're ever doing that shit again, I can tell you right now, if they ever try to do a lockdown again, I promise you this, I will be out in the middle of the street on my bike riding down Sunset going, F you, dudes. Not happening. You're going to go ahead, throw me in the back of the cop car. Losers. There we go. Oh my God. Yeah, see? No. You're not do not ever say they can do that. They don't have that. I'm never going to let them do that again. Ever. Don't be the guy who quits Twitter because you're fragile, yet we're pro. I am not. Okay, me, no. I was never pro lockdown. Never, ever pro lockdown. I mean, never. The people who were pro lockdown were the ones who were getting money, right? Like, oh, I'm not getting hurt by this. The problem with that mindset is the people who were hurt by the lockdowns were screwed and they lost their businesses. That's the problem. Not the people that are collecting unemployment and whatnot. Those people were like, let's let it roll forever. This is great. Free money. I mean, come on, guys. You know I'm right. I mean, not a political guy. That's the thing. I'm going to turn into like the next Rogan. You guys will be like, what happened to that? No, but I honest to God, I really mean this. And we'll get ready to wrap because my voice is going to like just completely go. My thoughts are bigger than film. My thoughts are strong. My thoughts and my opinions are obviously, as you know, very strong. And I have no problem going to these places because I know that my politics are as central as it gets. They just are. It's the product of being raised in Ohio and then spending half my life in LA. You know, you get a hardcore, left-wing liberal mentality out here. And then back in Ohio, conservative. Largely, I mean, that's just what Ohio is, especially Columbus, Ohio. It's just so centrist. Well, actually, it's more centrist, I would say. But the truth of it is that I just look at every situation, including films, as what's the truth? What's the reality? Not the spin, not the hive mind, none of that shit. What is the truth of the situation? And that's what I want to get to. I certainly don't want to be told by the Orwellian government that what is misinformation. You guys can decide that. You guys are adults. Figure it out. And we are Gen X, and we are opinionated, and we're outspoken. Free money's inflation. Of course it is. I feel like we should just do midnight movie talk, and then the second like 45 minutes turns into just like rants about everything. But I really do. Anytime you guys want to talk about anything else, I kid you not, we will go off. This is good, Nikita. We'll do this. I mean, it's a good. If you guys have good comments, we're gonna keep going. By the way, I want to make sure I didn't miss the super chat. We've done politics. Well, I mean, what? First of all, name another person who does this, who would say what I just said. Anybody in Orwellian government. I mean, who would ever say that? And it's like because that's the reality of it. Okay, so Tarantino said that. Okay, here's what he said. He said that there aren't movie stars now. Okay, I think that's the quote was essentially, we don't have movie stars. We have people playing superheroes, and those are the stars. Now, to Tarantino's defense, I will say this, that there aren't a lot of movie stars anymore. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, they're some of the last. But even now, you look at films that are by stars and they don't perform as well. So I think that Tarantino has a good point. Now, I'm not saying he's 100% right, but I'm also going to tell you that he's not 100% wrong. So again, it's shades of gray. Everything is shades of gray. Okay? So whenever someone tells you it's all this or all that, except for the Fablemans is terrible, anything else is shades of gray. And The Whale, terrible. Everything else shades of gray. And Babylon, everything else shades of gray. Those three films are terrible. There's no gray in that. But always remember Shades of Gray. Shades of Gray. I have to say, I love it when you go off the rails. Thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. Really appreciate that. I could, you know what? The funny thing is, Andrew Tate is it's almost like a version, and I've only watched that guy for a second, and I'm not going to get into his whole stance on these people think he's terrible. I'm not going to say that. I'm only going to say that I love anybody who's super opinionated. Okay, you can say what you want about Joe Rogan, and I don't even listen to Joe Rogan. So I've seen Joe Rogan. I know what he does. I'm just saying, I don't. I just know this. I like anyone who asks questions. Anybody. So instead of just, I'm going to take the party line and run with that. I'm going to say, oh, well, the government says this, therefore, like today, like you have to do this and that. I'm like, no. Hold on. First of all, I don't have to do anything that you tell me to do, essentially, other than the laws, right? The laws. Okay. I can't like go down Olive here in Burbank and zoom and fly past Warner Brothers going 120. Okay. That's a law, that's speeding, and that's reckless. I could hurt somebody. But don't tell me things that aren't laws that I have to do. That's where we start to get into this area where I'm like, you need to stay in your damn lane, man. Stay in your lane. I don't need you here. I don't need you. I don't need a nanny. I needed a nanny when I was 5. I'm not going to reveal my age, but I'm not 5. So I don't need a nanny. Stay out of my life. Government, stay the hell out. How about even better? Shut up. I don't even want to hear the official narrative. I don't like what. Just be quiet. We don't even need to listen. We're adults. We can figure things out. Politics just are such a giant waste of time, aren't they? I feel like now we're going into some weird shit. Politics. I mean, you feel like half the time, like these people don't even know A, what they're talking about, or B, are they even doing anything? They just talk. Be a doer. So yes, if we turn into some version of that, I have no problem with that, guys. Amsterdam is terrible. There's no shades of gray. I couldn't agree more with you on that, Ken. Amsterdam is truly awful. Worst films of the year, the things I am not thankful for: Babylon, The Whale, Fablemans, and Amsterdam. These 4 films I am not thankful for. Hopefully you have something you're more thankful for Thanksgiving, because those are 4 films that are pieces of trash. I mean, well, okay, they're bad. Man, The Fablemans is bad. Oh, maybe we'll do a whole stream. Which film is the worst? Fablemans, Babylon, The Whale, or Amsterdam? We'll have like a 4-way cage fight. And which one? Yeah, I did see Simu Liu trolling him. Speaking of someone who's outspoken, he is absolutely outspoken. And sometimes I feel like it's a little disrespectful. And here's the thing I will say is that if you're going to come after somebody, try to be respectful. And I always will do this. And people on Twitter do this. And they come on and they're, oh, yeah, and like, why are you being disrespectful? I'm just saying the movie's bad. I didn't say you're an idiot, okay? But I might if you come at me like that. But the point is we have people that are come out there, and Simu Liu seems like he's just in there going, I'm just going to go off on people. I'm like, what? Politicians live in a bubble where they have absolutely no clue of the real world. I think a lot of people are not affected by the policies, right? Remember, we saw during COVID, a lot of these people, the government entities, they were collecting money. They were not affected by the policies. The poor business owner that had his place shut down, or the restaurant, whatever it is, they suffered, but the government guy didn't because he was getting a paycheck. He got rolled by everybody today. Did he really after that? I didn't see. Did he get rolled? I mean, he was, one thing I'd say to Simu, and I think it's great to be opinionated, but it's an actor, not smart. You don't want to be that guy. And you know who learned that in a way, and I love him and respect him, and he's, we've had conversations. Paul Walter Hauser. Paul Walter Hauser came on Twitter, remember, and he's very opinionated about films. And then he got into trouble because he said something, and Paul Walter Hauser, he left Twitter. I feel like Simu Liu, if I was telling him like advice, I would say, I don't think you should tweet. Like, you're an actor and you need to be getting jobs acting. It's almost like if you're an actor, you need to be very neutral. You do not even want to come out and say, I hate Trump, I hate Biden. Of course, you'd never say, I hate Biden if you're an actor. That'd be death. But I just feel like when you do that, you are eliminating a portion of your audience. So, I said I'm not political. So I'm not going to say I love Trump or I love Biden. I don't really care for either of them. I just want someone in charge who makes sound decisions, that is actually looking out for the collective interest of us, of humanity, without being a damn nanny. Is that asking too much? Do I need to run for office somewhere? I should start like back in my hometown of Gahanna, Ohio, and I should run for the local congressman, and I can build my way up from Ohio, be the guy, because I'm a kid from Ohio. And then, dude, yeah, let me tell you something. If you think that DeSantis guy down in Florida, you think he's outspoken, can you imagine like a press conference with me up there at the mic? They'd be like, holy crap, this guy is like insane. I mean, he's just going to say whatever the hell's on his mind. You guys watch the show, you know. I feel like that might be in the cards. Maybe we should go into that. I would love to give a speech. I'd be like, take the prompter and throw it away. I did Midnight Movie Talk live for over an hour, 3 times a week. So I don't need your stupid teleprompter. Hey guys, here's what's going on right now. We have a situation where blah, 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 blah. Give me the talking points. Literally, give me a little sheet. Of course, there's someone who helps you. And I'd grab the talking points. I'd be like, okay, here we go. So yes, so what we need to do is we absolutely have to get this accomplished, because the bottom line is I can bullshit well. The only problem is I don't lie well. So if they said, hey, you need to go out there and say something like, this is good, I'd be like, well, no, this is bad. So you're asking me to say something that I can't. I'm telling you, it'd be like Iron Man 2. Or was it 1? Was it 1? No, it's 1. Was it 1 or 2? Shit. It was 1. Yeah, it's 1. It's been so long. I'm Iron Man. That'd be me in the middle of it. I'll screw this. This is the reality. Eric, clean up this mess. I'm like, okay, so now screw this. It's going to hell. And they're like, oh my God, he said it. Oh. All right, we're almost done. What happened? No, I wouldn't. No, I would not. Ken, I would not delete the shirtless pictures, because that is actually an asset, right? Because they would be like, look at this guy. He walks the walk and talks the talk. Like, we can't even mess with him. That's one of the reasons I even do that. You know that, right, Ken? For anyone who why does he post shirtless? First of all, I do it because I bust my ass at the gym, and I really do think it's important to be in shape. For me, it is. It's part of who I am. I love it. But the other reason I do it, and I'm not going to lie, I'm 100% honest with you, is so that when the trolls come, and they always do, the trolls always come. The trolls, they go, the first thing they're going to do is they try to attack. They go, well, you're fat. You're bald. You're blah. You're blah. And then they go, oh, wait a second. They see the picture and they go, oh, I can't, what am I supposed to do with this? You're dumb. That's all they have. Because you can't say I'm fat. Can't say I'm bald, at least not yet. So what happens is you disarm these people. So no, I would not delete the shirtless pictures. There would probably be more shirtless pictures. All right, guys, that's going to do it. This show went off the rails. I love you all. We'll be back maybe on Thanksgiving night. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we could do something like the films that you're thankful for this year. Not ever, just this year. Because I think that keeps it a little more focused. Because if we say the films you're thankful for, you guys are going to be going back decades. I don't want to do that. Let's think about Thursday night, the movies that you are thankful for. Thursday night's always boring as hell. It's Thanksgiving. The football games are over. You're like, I'm bored. We'll do a midnight movie talk where you guys discuss your films that you're thankful for. And conversely, maybe the films you're not thankful for, the ones I just listed, start with those. We'll do that Thursday night here on MMT. I'm going to rest my voice for the next 48 hours, and I'll see you back here on Thanksgiving. If I don't see you before then, which I probably won't, have a very safe, a very happy Thanksgiving, and I will be back here on Thursday night. Until then, MMT is out.